After what felt like a really long search, we had quite a few really qualified applicants, but at the end, Malcolm kind of rose to the top of that entire group of people. So Malcolm Rasheed is actually originally from Kansas City, Missouri, and made his way to the Staten Island in itself, as he is a pro at Richmond County Golf Club. Through a bunch of fortunate circumstances, he heard about our job here at the College of Staten Island, applied, and was very impressive throughout the entire process. So he played collegiately at Northwest Missouri State University and was ranked #1 in the country while he was in high school collegiately. He was an assistant coach at UMKC, which is a Division I school, and then has spent the last 8 years playing professionally in both France and Germany. So we believe that he has all the experience, both being a student athlete, he was an educator while he was in France, being a tactical coach, and really great with discussing life skills and the greater picture of being a student athlete. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to announce Malcolm Rasheed as our new tennis coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. This is my opening statement. Is that how the process goes? Well, I'm excited to be here. I've heard a lot about the team. It's been new for me. So I've only been in New York or Staten Island for about a month and a half. So everything is really, really new. But I am very, very excited to be here. And I think our programs, just in general, are moving in the right direction. So Erin was telling me all the hard work she's done and everybody's done to get us to go Division II. With that comes a few more responsibilities, a few more expectations that I will ask of student athletes. But that's the fun part about it. I think when you look back in your life and you say you really dedicated yourself to something, you were part of something special that had great achievements, then I think that's worth it. It's worth all the work that we're going to put into it. So thank you all for coming. I know it's kind of a busy time in your lives, but to take this extra time to come see me is important. I'm very excited to meet you and talk with you personally. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Good choice, Erin and the people here.
Okay, do we have any questions for our new tennis coach, Ron?
Have you ever coached for school?
Yeah, I coached for the University of Missouri, Kansas City. So they were Division I school. Coached both men and women, so I had a lot of responsibilities. So I kind of understand a little bit what coaching is like. So yeah.
Dave.
Malcolm, if you could just expand a little bit on that. Erin mentioned that you were a former student athlete
Yeah.
at a very high level, nationally ranked, and then you transitioned from that role to coaching. So can you talk about what you've picked up from the college world that you can apply here at Staten Island?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, the difficult thing about being a student in college or student athlete in college is that you also have to respond to your academics, right? So it'd be much easier if you could just go play tennis all day, but you guys have much more responsibilities. So combining the schedule, balancing, learning how to time management, learning how to prioritize your life, those type of things are super important and great skills that you learn being a college athlete. I mean, it's a different pressure on you when you walk through the campus. I remember when I was a student athlete, I would have workouts in the morning, we'd have training, and then we'd have our matches sometimes. And I was always trying to do extra because I wanted to be a professional. So I did extra work. I remember being so sore walking into classrooms, limping into my classes. And not everybody can understand, right? Other athletes can understand, but the average student can't understand that lifestyle. So those are some sacrifices, the getting in a little bit earlier so you get more rest. Not being able to go out and do all the things that your friends are able to do. I mean, that's a sacrifice being a student athlete. But it's worth it because you have your whole life to do those things. You know, you're only, 18, 19, 20, 21. I mean, that's so super young. So I always felt like I wanted to do those things when I was established in my life and I can really enjoy it. You can't really enjoy it, you guys. In college, you can't really enjoy that social aspect of life. But when you work hard and you achieve your goals and you live your life, then you can really, enjoy and look back and be really proud of yourself for all the things you accomplished. So that's mainly the time balancing, right? Organizing yourself so that you have time to do all the things that you need to do. Those are the things that I learned being a student athlete. I like to help balance as far as a coach. Yeah.
Malcolm, you just mentioned some of your experiences as a student athlete, but returning to the collegiate level as a coach, how exciting is that for you, especially now at CSI during a time where, of course, our athletics programs are going through so many changes with the college and now it's moved to Division II?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, when I took the job at Richmond, I wasn't planning on being a coach. I was planning on, saving, working, and then returning back to Europe to continue kind of my playing. But some of the members there at Staten Island are very big fans of the school and very big fans of this area. And they just kind of sent my resume to Aaron and they said, yeah, how do you think about coaching? And I said, I like it. I have good experiences. And they said, well, we sent your resume and they want to meet you. I said, okay. And then I got the opportunity. I'm so thankful they did that, because then I got a chance to meet Aaron and talk with Charles. And I'm the type of person that doesn't really, I would say I'm a pretty private person. But when I get invested in something, when I believe in the people, then that makes me want to do it. So I wouldn't say I would be a college coach for any situation, but for this situation, when I looked into Aaron's eyes, when I looked into Charles' eyes, and I heard them talk about the passion of their program, when they talked about going to Division II and what their goals were 5-10 years down the line, I said, okay, this is something that is really special that I want to be a part of. So that probably didn't answer your question, but that's kind of my thought process coming here.
Great.
Dave.
So Malcolm, how would you categorize your style of tennis that you like to teach? I know getting to know a lot of instructors, some of them are big fans of an attacking style.
Uh-huh.
Some of them are more interested in longer volleys and trying to wear down your opponent. Some of them approach it more as a mental game.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about where you stand as far as tennis itself.
Yeah. Well, the higher levels you go, the more offense you have to play. But at the same time, it's every player is kind of different. So for me, it's just understanding you as a player, what comes natural to you, and then building off what you do natural and then adding things that will help you be more successful in matches. I think that makes more sense than saying everybody should play like Djokovic or everybody should, it's kind of a individual basis at which I try to coach people. And just, I think one of my talents is just being able to recognize talents in others and then being able to put those people in positions where they can be successful on the court. So as we start to get into our practices, I'll be able to learn much more about all of you, and then we can kind of work from there versus, I don't know if I have just a standard way of playing. So I want to help you guys win. So that always depends on kind of you guys, what you do well. Good question.
Final one for me is if you could just put into words what some of your short-term goals, your kind of medium-term and then longer-term goals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously we have teams here that are a little light in quantity.
Yeah.
But I believe we have teams here that are very invested in one another.
Good.
Care very much for one another. So we have smaller teams, but very dedicated teams. So tell me a little bit about how you want to grow the program.
Yeah.
What you envision for them immediately.
Yeah.
And what you envision down the road.
Yeah, I think the first thing that I would try to instill is just a more family kind of atmosphere as far as with teams. With team sports especially, you really, especially with tennis because it's individual sport, right? This is probably the first time I think a lot of people get used to playing for a team as a collegiate tennis player. So I would try to make sure that we're all appreciating the work that we're all putting in together and kind of grow us as far as being unified. And then the next thing, I think I was talking to Aaron already about just recruiting. I think before I even walked in for the interview, I was calling people like, hey, might be in New York, come. So I'm already working on the recruiting process. And I have prospects from literally all over the world. So from France to Germany, because I have strong ties there. But also just when I was coaching in Kansas City, there's a Georgian girl who's excited about coming in maybe as a grad assistant. She knows some girls that might play. So just enhancing our roster just by bringing in the most talent that I can find to really give us a chance. I think, for me, I always want to win championships. I never signed up for a tournament I didn't want to win. I didn't believe I could win. So the championship is obviously NCAAs and being, top 10 or top 30. So that's probably like a long-term goal. Right now, I think we should just try to I have to see. To be honest, I can't really answer that question because I don't know who we play against. I don't know what our talent level is in comparison to everyone else. So, but I just want us to be competitive. I want us to grow as a team and be prepared for the year to come. Simple goals for me is like organizing where we have kind of early morning practices, something like that. Starting to do more physical training in correlation to our workouts. So just things from that, building a schedule for the guys team. I don't feel like there's any reason why we shouldn't play Columbia or why we shouldn't play any of these local New York schools. Doesn't matter what division they're in. We should be playing Wagner. Things like this, I would try to do, because if you get a good schedule, it doesn't matter if you're playing Division II or Division I, you can recruit kids because you can say, hey, you're going to play the best talent in New York. And I think with the facilities we have here, the 6 bubble, the outdoor, we have the facility to recruit. We have the facility to be good. So we can kind of be like a secret because nobody really knows about us yet. We can kind of catch people by surprise. You know, none of these other schools are prepared for us. But as long as we take care of our things, and me as a coach, I'm providing you a system at which you can train and get better so that you get confidence in yourselves, then you can go out and feel like you have a chance on the court. And that's all you can really ask for at a high level, is a chance to play against the best players and be ready for those moments. So, yeah. Any more questions?
Joe?
You mentioned the potential for some international recruits. I was wondering if you could just expand a little bit upon your recruiting plan and attracting some of those dedicated athletes that you mentioned and cultivating a family athlete, or I should say a family atmosphere with the athletes that you bring here to CSI.
Absolutely. Well, I think the great thing about tennis is it is an international sport. So my appeal to international community is, come here, you're 20 minutes away from New York City. All right, my connections with the club at Richmond, I'm going to put you in the circles with the best, most successful people in the area. Right, so you get a chance to come here, be close to New York City, whatever else you want to do in life. We're putting millions of dollars into our business program here. Come study business, and then 20 minutes from Manhattan, you're at Wall Street. You know, whatever you want to do, you're going to be set up for life. And I think that's a huge draw for kids coming from overseas. You know, maybe, you know, I'm still learning New York's political, you know, between the boroughs. So I don't really know. So for me, Staten Island is Manhattan. It's nice to me. I like it here. People like it here. I like it. So I don't know. I don't live here, right? So maybe the other people in Brooklyn say, Staten or whatever. But when you come internationally, right, nobody knows about the inner politics, right? They just say New York. So my biggest marketing thing is come for our team, come for me, and then I can give you access to New York City, one of the best cities in the world. So that's kind of the recruitment angle I go for. It's been working so far. People are excited about it. People I've talked to. So
Student athletes, do you have any questions? That was good.
yeah.
We can break from here.
Okay.
So we'll break from here. Once again, Malcolm, congratulations. Welcome to the College Staten Island family, and we look
Thank
forward
you.
to working with you soon.
Thank you.